really, really good. And he was like, okay, on your computers or on your iPhone, look up Ozempic. So he had us go through, and it's like Ozempic, and we so look at this, look at this, look at this. It was military. The military was behind Ozempic, military labs, and Ozempic basically has Gia Monster venom in it. So he pointed that out almost 3 years ago, and he said we're going to see people go blind, and we're going to see people have their guts will shut down. They won't be able to eat anymore. Have to be fed intravenously. I said it 3 years ago, and now there's like huge cases that are coming out where all these people have all these those problems we talked about. Right now, they also talked about in their they exposed so many things. Dr. Group basically talked about how he went on Alex Jones in 2018 and said they're going to come out with the bioweapon, and then they're going to come out with a vaccine that's going to be worse, way worse than the bioweapon. And then after he did that show on Alex Jones in 2018, he got death threats. Alex Jones got death threats. And that's when they started to attack Alex Jones and took down his channel and all that stuff. So these guys are like cutting edge. I've learned a lot from them. Now, they also talked about history, how this snake thing goes all the way back into the cult of Asclepius, which is basically this guy was like, you would come into this, he'd have all these rooms or whatever, and you come in and there'll all be all these snakes all over the place, and you're supposed to like hang out with the snakes. Crazy stuff. But you see, like in the Temple of the Parthenon in Nashville, because I've been there several times, you see Athena, who was on the Acropolis. So above Greece was the statue of Athena, and she was the patron goddess of Athena, or of Athens. So guess what was on her shield, and all around her on her wrist, she had like bracelets. Anybody?
I'm not sure I understand.
My watch is like, I'm not sure I understand. Yeah. I didn't ask you. What the hell? Anyone want to like take a gander at what's all over Athena's shield, and right next to her and around her, she's got wristbands, snakes. Wayne Sanford, snacks, but I know you meant snakes, right? Yeah. Robin, good. So good. A reptilian, yes, a snake is reptilian. So that's good. You got it right too. I'll give that one to you. But yeah, snakes all the way back then. They used snakes for healing all the way back 2,500 years ago, guys. So this is on Athena's shield. Snakes in that strange head. I don't know what that's about, but the Greeks were blonde. Or were they? I don't know. So back then, were they dark haired or were they blonde? I don't know. Who knows? But there's lots. So I've looked into that. I remember going there, and there's like a plaque because I was like, what the heck is going on with these snakes? So I'm figuring this out years ago. I saw this years and years ago. I'm like, snakes? What's? And then they came out, and then Dr. Artis talked about snake venom, and I was like, this has been going on for a long. I even asked them. I said, I've been to Parthenon there in Nashville, and there's like snakes all over the place. What is this stuff been going on for a long time? They're like, you got it. So I've learned how to think. Right? I do the critical thinking. I put things together. I hope you guys are doing the same thing. But it's crazy, guys. This stuff has been going on for a long time. This deep state has gotten thousands of years of practice in how to control us. And yes, they control us in lots of different ways. And they have the good information. They know they don't get vaccinated, guarantee you. And they don't do all the stuff that they tell us to do. You ever see those videos where, back during COVID, where they're like doing the masking, and they like, you'd have all these political types. I remember one that was in England, where they had all these political types, and they were like all in masks and stuff like that. And then they showed before that, somebody was videoing them before, and the guy that was going to, the head guy was like, "Put your mask on." So everybody's like scrambling around, putting their mask on, and then the camera starts, and they all got their mask on. None of them had their mask on before that. Yeah. So pretty crazy stuff. These people that we have believed should be in charge of us, they should not be. They should not be at all, right? So that's going to be something we're going to have to turn around, and it's not going to work out too good for them. So, of course, James Comey pleads not guilty to his 2 federal charges, of which, he may get 5 years for each, but not if Halligan, I think that's her name, right? In the Eastern Virginia courts, if she doesn't belong there. It's like they just stuck her there. Like, we're going to have you, we're getting desperate, so we're going to have you go there, and here's your list of people you're going to indict. James Comey, then Letitia James, and then da-da-da, and la-da-da, and la-da-da. And maybe it's just all for show. But there could be that thing where once they're indicted and they don't serve or they don't get a trial, it's null and void. Ooh. I know there's something like that out there. That would not be good. So anyway, you want to get into the place where you're going to kick the vaccine, because we talked about this today. Everyone is suffering from those people that got vaccinated. If you've been vaccinated and you're, clean yourself out and so forth, great for you, but a lot of people haven't. And they're becoming very toxic to everybody else. And we talked about this would happen 5 years ago. I said, don't get vaccinated before the vaccination came out. And then we started talking about how those people that are going to get this vaccination, it's going to fester inside them, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And then they're going to be like super toxic to everybody around them. Right. So those people that have gotten shot after shot after shot after shot, they're so toxic. Oh my God. And they're probably having multiple problems. They can't figure it out. Right. So they talked about how you can overcome a lot of stuff. One of the greatest things you can do, of course, is the LifeWave patches, guys. So the X39, highly recommend that. I want you guys to survive. You guys are listening to me at this point. Please don't die. All right. Because I've spent a lot of time educating you. And I know you've probably spent a lot of time educating yourself. So don't go full retard. All right. Get yourself, there's lots of different modalities out there that are useful and helpful. Find something that's going to keep you clean, because it's nonstop. We have to detox nonstop at this point. Unless you're in the woods somewhere and, you got beehives and sheep running around and ostriches. Do you see the thing in the ostriches in up in Canada, where they're basically trying to kill like 400 ostriches? So the ostriches, because they've lived for a long time, I've talked about this already, the ostriches basically have built some kind of crazy immunity. So if you eat ostrich eggs, you get that immunity. Crazy. I've eaten some ostrich eggs, of course. Yeah, good stuff. Wow, 1 ostrich egg, like, whoa, that's a lot, right? Like big. I got one. I think we had one that was green, really neat. So, so in Canada, under the WHO's direction, they sent in like this army of Gestapo police, which basically wanted to slaughter all 400 of those ostriches, because they've been studying them for a long time, figuring out what it is about them that can resist diseases like COVID, just basically cancel it out. So, of course, they got to shut them. They're still doing this. still doing this. Canada, if Canada is to go to the United States, which I think it already is, but the people have to wake up to it, and that's what we're seeing in a lot of these cases around the world. We have to awaken so that they can activate, right? So if you believe in the lie of the deep state that they're in charge, they're going to continue to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until there's nothing left of you. There's nothing left of you, right? Until you turn into your what these guys were talking about. These guys were talking about some serious stuff, and they've been cutting edge. A lot of their stuff they're doing biohacking on us, chemtrailing in our food supply and the vaccinations and all that stuff. They're turning us into robots, right? Soulless robots. And that's what a lot of this technology, biotech, is doing to a lot of people. If you survive it, if you survive all the stuff they're throwing at you, if you're not detoxing and your body's just like taking it all in and starting to convert you into a robot with no soul, and then once they hit that 51% of terminators, the rest of us are going to be in trouble. Right? We're already in trouble with a lot of these people with their shedding from the vaccination, and then they're going to start to turn into friggin' robots, guys. Biotech robots, soulless. So the soul is going to leave the body. But soul is going to I'm out. And that's they talk about that, and they talk it really well, a lot better than I can. You're like, whatever, Mike. You don't have anything to back that up. No science. Yeah, there's a lot of science, but anyway, that's what's happening. We're moving in that direction. That's their goal. So the Terminator thing is like for real, guys. Maybe they've already, I'm sure they already got some Terminators out there. Non-humanoid. Yeah, you say humanoids, but yeah, kind of like a little bit of human, but mainly robot, crazy. So that's right, Judy. Jesus is king. Right? He'll protect us. That's all we got to do. We just focus on Jesus and it's all done. Yeah, we have to get activated. We have to activate and push back. And Jesus said, these things I do, you can do an even greater. That means we can push back on these people and know them for who they are. And, with that knowledge, we can defeat them. But if you don't have that knowledge, if you're just like, well, some random source like President Trump's just going to come in and take care of everything. All right. He's done this over and over again where he basically says this or that, and that's what he does. He does that really well. So you want good or you want evil? Good or evil? It's up to you, right? So Canadians, we're going to get that Alberta 51st state and Saskatchewan 52nd. You guys are effed if you don't do it. Absolutely, completely, and by probably the end of if not this year, then into the middle or so of next year, you're going to be fully and absolutely controlled in your state of Canada. So I said back when I said, you Canadians, you better leave. Back when COVID started, when the COVID bioweapon came out, I said, Canadians, run away, run from Canada now while you can. And then a lot of people got locked up in Canada. And then if you went back to Canada, then you went through all kind of crazy treatment. So this time, if you don't do a 51st and 52nd state, if you can, you better crawl, fly, or go underground to get the hell out of Canada. Otherwise, you're totally effed in Canada. You are effed in Canada, guys. Right? So you gotta get because you Canadians are like a bunch of Californians. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, right? You don't push back. You learn from your British masters, not to get out of line, right? And you have a few people that do, of course, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Same thing in California. I've been talking about this for years. Not enough people that push back, right? So, and same thing in Chicago, same thing in all of Illinois, same thing in New York. So I know some of you are like, well, if we push back, we're going to get pushed back on. That's right. That's why you have to have a lot of people push back. And if you don't, then yeah, you leave. Right? Otherwise, all right, here we go, guys. It's coming down to the wire. The crazy stuff is about ready to, like, go high order. And if you're not in a position where you can protect yourself and your significant others, your crew, right? If you guys aren't, I saw today after we did that show with the doctors, I saw somebody or maybe it was in another show. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes I go around and look at the chat, and I sometimes make comments. What I like as much as I can, but there's thousands. I can't look at them all, guys. But sometimes I'm, drawn, I guess, to come in. And there was this one woman that said, I didn't get vaccinated, and no one in my family got vaccinated. And I was like, you are the only one. It's like, is there anyone out there? Anyone else? All I see, 99.9% of people is like, I tried to tell everybody in my family, and they got it anyway. Now I was lucky. There's only my daughter got vaccinated because she was in school, and they kept hammering her. We're all telling her, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And she's in friggin' liberal California, Orange County, going to school, and they're like hammering her to get vaccinated. Otherwise, she had to get tested every single day. She was going to classes, and she had worked for years to get her degree. So she was like in her last semester to get her degree. So frustrating. So she ended up getting vaccinated, got super sick, and I got her on the patches. And she just got blood work recently, and she's good, right? So there are alternatives, but if you don't realize you got bioweapon hacked, right? Biotech hacked, and your system, your DNA, and everything is basically turning into a zombie. You're turning you into a zombie. If you live from it, you will be a zombie, right? So that's pretty much where we're at. Yeah, wonderful one, Doc. Yeah, I'm super happy. So, and my son, he was unfortunately, years and years and years. Shouldn't have lasted as long as he did, I think, as a heroin addict. But I got him on patches, and he did really well for a while, and probably lasted a lot longer than he should have, like I said. But I don't know if he stopped using them or what. I was checking on him, but once you stop using and then you use again, like there's so much. What's that stuff that's killing everybody? Anyway, that one drug that they're cutting all the drugs with now. It's super, super toxic. So he did the toxicology, and unfortunately, he got some of that in him. So no, not meth, fentanyl. Yep. So fentanyl was in his heroin. He went back to heroin, started using again, and acting like everything was good. That's the way they are. They'll lie to you. It's kind of like the saying that if an addict opens their mouth, they're lying. Unfortunately, but he was doing it really well for a long time, because I was with him for like months, and I was making sure that he wasn't using. So he was clean every day on the patches. He was talking about that was the best. He always thought that, when is it going to get good? You get off drugs and it's supposed to get good. So he's like, this is the first time ever it was good. But, fell back, unfortunately. But there are, he had an amazing life, his amazing soul. He's on the other side doing really good stuff. So I get communications with him all the time. So he lasts a lot longer than he was really meant to be here. So anyway, he came in for his, to push a certain agenda and work through certain things. And he did that and then hung around and, had a good time with us. So, and then like, boom. So you guys that aren't into past lives and all that kind of stuff, you start to realize, you come in sometimes for certain agendas and you get those, you do those and you go back out, you come back in. And sometimes you have multiple lives at the same time. So, which he is doing. Right? So now when he comes back in again, he's going to come in with a lot more energy. At least that's what I'm getting. And that, so because he's having multiple lives, he came in with a certain amount of energy to do a certain thing, and he accomplished that. So it boosted his soul quotient and so forth. So that's what he does. So anyway, going off on a tangent again, but coming back around, what we do, like Trump does, bring it back around, and we talk about how at the beginning of this, it's a trinity. It's good, bad, and ugly. Some people are good, and they get sucked into that ugly side, unfortunately, like my son. So, but he will come back out. He'll have the good, but get sucked back. It's tough. So we need to do the best we can to create an environment where there is no more ugly. Right? And a lot of people are like, can we even do that? I believe that we can. I think we're moving into a consciousness that will have only good, right? There will only be good. And I think some people think that that's impossible, but I believe there are worlds out there that they've already worked through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and there's no more ugly, there's no more bad, there's only good. I believe that exists. And they interact with us and they try and help us, but we're like the stray dog that, this is the way in the Middle East. There's all these stray dogs around there, and they're all super humble, most of them. The people in the Middle East, they don't like dogs, right? So most of them, there's a few that do, that have been Western trained usually. They've been in Western schools and so forth. But anyway, there's dogs that roam. I don't know how, but there's dogs, wild dog packs and so forth. But they're all super humble. So when we've been in different places, whether it's Afghanistan, Pakistan, or Libya, wherever we were, Libya doesn't really have a wild dog problem, but other places do. We would take in those dogs, and they'd come, and we'd feed them, and they'd be like all happy, they'd hang out, and we get them cleaned up, and they'd hang out. They were like all happy, and maybe one or two of their buddies would come and join them. But eventually, they'd always go out. They like the wildlife, right? They'd always they disappear, right? They had the best of everything, had good life, but they were, they'd already been in that wildlife. So they went back out, starving, all mangy and all kind of crazy stuff. And the locals hate them and, kick at them and throw stuff at them and so forth. So, we're gonna continue to see that for a while. Like some of these people that are in Portland, they're like those mangy dogs out there, right? They're wild things that just, I don't know if they'll ever change. Maybe they'll have to go to 8 years of penitentiary life, and hopefully in the penitentiary life in the future, they'll start to treat people a little bit differently, teach them a trade or something. That'll be a requirement, and they'll learn the trade while they're in there, and they'll come out. I think those are the really good prison systems where they do that. And I know they're out there, but most of them are just like, it's a money-making thing. And the judges, some of the police and all that, they're all in on it, guys. They're all in on politicians. That's why they just let people out. They'll put them in the prison. They get a little certain money, and then they kick them out. They're like, okay, you can go now. go make some more crime because we're going to benefit from that. They benefit from it, right? They benefit from crime. That's why they have the crime out there. So we need to, like, really look at working and transforming some of those people, the homeless. I showed a show the other day where this veteran guy that saw, like I did, and was exposed to extraterrestrial stuff, right? And then there's like this one group within the deep state, the uglies, they basically attack people that have that connection or have that information and can share that information and awaken people. So if you're part of an awakening process, is if you've done that, you get attacked. All right. Like all those doctors, all of them have been threatened, attacked, almost killed, all of them. Right. So these are the people that are bringing us information, like myself, that's trying to help humanity. So we're having a lot of these people that are being attacked. And if you want to share something that will help humanity, look out. So here I am. I've had this experience where the deep state doesn't like that. So they focus on me and destroy my life, destroy my credibility, talk bullshit about me. And that's what this one guy in the show that I put out the other day, he had one of those experiences. And I was like, yep, all of us that have that, and there's lots of us, they destroy our lives and try and kill us so that we don't share that information. So there are good ET entities that are out there that are trying to help us, but we're like that mangy dog that just loves to, they would come in and clean us up, and then we'd run back out and get all mangy and starving again, right? That's the way most of humanity still is. So that's obviously a problem. And that's why they're not going to help. So we just stopped. We're like, yeah, we'd like to help those dogs, but it doesn't work out. They're going to do their life. They're going to we'll give them food every now and then, but yeah, that's their thing. Just like my son, that was his thing. He's going to do that. You can only help him so much. He's here to experience that, and he's gone, right? So maybe some of these people, we can help them so that they completely break free from that system. I know a lot of addicts from all kind of stuff have broken free and, lead incredible lives. I mean, there's probably thousands of people right now that could say, yeah, me. So there is that potential. And there is the potential that we could believe and understand that there are extraterrestrials out there that could help us and have been. So I think like the Tesla stuff, and I think like David Schmidt, the guy that does the Life Wave, I think they get information from now some people was like from God, energy, higher source, but I think that there's positive ETs that are beaming good information at us as well. And of course, in some of these uglies, there's some negative ETs that are beaming energy and frequencies and thoughts of them, right? So it is getting to the point where we're at the precipice of overcoming all that. We're very close, and it's a very exciting time. Whatever your belief system, like whether you believe that Charlie Kirk, really got shot and died, or if you're like me, you saw that and you're like, bullshit, right? That's no. So, and I've talked about that in a lot of shows. So, it doesn't matter that you don't have my beliefs. You don't believe in ETs. You believe very strongly in your religious beliefs, and you don't believe that there was other influences and other things that may have happened, and maybe somebody came in and manipulated some biblical text and stuff. You don't believe that, right? I do, right? In fact, I'm almost completely 100% certain that happened, right? When you look at all the, critical thinking, information, and so forth. So when you know that, like, for instance, in the beginning, let's make them in our image. Let's make man in our image. Our, that's not like one being. Hello. So you can look at all that stuff, and you can, like, oh, well, they meant this. No, that's what they wrote. I think that's what they meant. All right. So, or maybe it got mixed up in the translation, which happened in a lot of stuff. But regardless, when you look at the old Aramaic, and the Old Testament comes from who? The Jews. All right. And who killed Jesus? Who was Jesus? A Jew. And who was it? He went to a court and they said, kill this man. Romans, crucify him. All right. And so we still believe in the Old Testament, but they're the ones that, killed, if you're Christian, killed your Savior, your God. Right. So, so the first commandment, there can be no other God before me. And then somewhere in that New Testament, they put in that I am the only way to God. Well, that's breaking the first commandment. So, you can play games with all this stuff, guys. It's up to you. But really, and eventually, you don't need any of that. There is a connection that you can have with God on your own. And these people that tell you that you have to go through them, like the Pope, oh my God, the Pope and the bishops. The Pope, Leo Zagami, said that the Pope told the bishops in America to fight Trump on immigration. That's some effed up stuff. Right? That's not cool. And they are. Some of them are. In Texas, even, of all places. So, and hey, Dub, 3 hots and a cot. Yeah, that's military. You're good. You're good to go. All right. Okay, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Look at that. Look at that beautiful night back there. Isn't it gorgeous? It's gorgeous, right? All right. That's my view. That's my view when I eat dinner. It's lovely. And I'm looking at it right now because I can see it in the screen. So that's cool. So while I'm talking to you, you guys see it. I see it. It's fantastic. We're all one tribe. We're all working together. We all have separate, everybody has individual beliefs and understandings and so forth. But ultimately, we can all work together, right? As white hats, right? As good guys, right? As goodies. All right. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. I know it's hard. I know it's hard for some of you people out there. But just fake it till you make it, right? It's like when you feel yourself getting angry or fearful, just, oh yeah, that love. It's the strongest force in the universe. And that's a God energy. Yep. Got to go love. Stay love. Think love. Be love. All right, guys. See you next time.